All right, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run video. So we did the live stream the other day, and it'll be out on Friday, which will be tomorrow when you're watching this video. But basically, I was asked to do a video about gear and how that works. We're going to do a beginner's thing, and if this doesn't answer the questions that are being asked, then I guess we'll do more advanced stuff. But right now, we're just going to look at basic gear, where to get it, how to use it, what you should be looking for on each hero, and so forth and so on. So let's look at the beginning of the game. You're basically going to be getting the lifesteal sets. Like the main sets that you're going to be getting in the beginning are the attack set from the first campaign. You're going to be getting the HP set from the second campaign. You're going to be getting lifesteal from the login for the first 4 days. You're going to be getting a speed set if you can finish out the beginner tournament, which is basically easy as long as you keep moving forward on beating campaign and dungeons and all that other stuff. Just keep beating whatever you can beat, and more than likely you will get the speed set. There's also a shield set that you will get from, I think, beating the Fire Knight. There's also a set of, I believe it is this set. Where are we? I think it's the Ignore Defense set. I don't remember where it is. Either way, I believe you get that from beating campaign. All right, and it's only 2 pieces. You will get, actually, there's 2 sets you get, actually, I believe in here. I don't remember which level you get, but somewhere around here in the first area when you're doing easy, you're going to be getting two sets of gear. I think one is a shield, like a defense healing set, whatever that is, for tanks. And then I think there's another one where you get, like I said, the Ignore Defense. And I believe those are possibly 4-star, maybe even 5, but I think they're 4. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a year and a half. So, but either way, you will get gear from going through this. You will also get gear like accessories from logging in on the daily rewards for the first month. You will get other pieces of gear, speed set. I believe you get a couple different pieces of gear just from logging in. And also from completing quests, you will get stuff as well. So that's the beginning stuff, all right? That stuff you're going to get by just following missions. And that's why I keep telling people, follow your missions, do the missions, very important. Now, gearing heroes. What are you looking to do? Well, here's the thing. Every hero is different. And I get a lot, not even just me personally, but I see it a lot where people say, it's like, oh, you have the best gear, you have this gear, not me personally, but like other content creators possibly. And a lot of times we can't give you an exact answer to the gear question. And I think I've said this before in a few videos, is that every hero is different. Every account is different. And where you're going to use somebody is always going to be different. I mean, not always, but a lot of times you're going to use heroes in different areas, just wherever you beat stuff. You're going to be like, oh, cool. Like I use Jizzo, for instance, and I use him in HP Destroy, and we use him to beat Scarab King. That's what I use him for. Most people don't. Most people do not use Jizzo for beating the Scarab King. All right, I do. So he's in HP Destroy. So the thing to know about gear is that most heroes can be changed to fit certain situations based on the gear that you equip them with. Now, your average hero, like if we go and look here at, say, I don't know if Kale's really average. Who can we use that's who do I use that's just DPS? All right, so let's just say this is your beginning hero. All right, actually, this is probably the best hero to pick. Now, I don't know if I built her 100% correctly. Most of my heroes are built reasonably. None of them are amazing, and I still beat content. So if you want, you can improve these builds. Now, most heroes that are damage dealers, all right, and when I say damage dealer, I mean someone that has attack, all right, in their main stat right here. And then you go into their skills, and you look at their skills, and it says, look, damage based on attack, damage based on attack, damage based on attack. All of these things are very important because if you build, say, this hero with defense, they are going to have no attack because all their damage is based on attack, and they are an attack hero. I know a lot of this might seem like it's very, very simple and should be known by everyone, but a lot of times there's a lot going on in this game, all right? So let's just bear down and help each other out, shall we? All right. So every hero who is an attack hero, early game, more than likely, you're going to want a crit rate glove. Now, why would you want that? All right, so crit rate, what does that do? It basically makes it so you do extra damage when you hit, okay? Crit damage and crit rate are basically linked. So if you have a ton of crit rate and no crit damage, doesn't really help you as much. If you have no crit rate and all crit damage, that means you're never going to crit, so your crit damage is going to do nothing. So you kind of have to balance the two. Now, in the early game, you're going to probably pick crit rate. Why are you going to pick crit rate over crit damage? Well, because you need to have the rate first. All right. And it's going to be a lot harder to max your crit rate out with 3-star gear. All right. This is what? 5-star, and it has a 50%. So at 6-star, you get 60% crit rate just from one glove. So more than likely, the glove is going to be enough to basically give you the crit rate you need to hit that 100 mark. Now, what most people will tell you is that crit rate needs to be at 100%. All right. I am not that person, even though I agree that it should be 100%. All right. I'm not going to say it's not going to be 100%. It should be. All right. We don't live in a perfect world. We don't have perfect gear. Not everybody has all the gear that's the best thing in the world. It's just the way the game works. As you can see, my crit rate on this one is 93%. So I'm just below it. Now, I know a lot of the starter heroes do have some skills like that will help you with that crit rate thing. I don't believe she does, right? Places an extra hit. Here we go. Places increase 30% crit rate buff on this champion for 3 turns if the target is killed. So if she kills people, she gets crit rate. So for someone like her, it's conceivable that if you start with this skill, you don't have to really worry about having crit rate on her as much. Okay. Now, what that means is that you could conceivably build her anywhere near 70% crit rate. I probably wouldn't do it because it's based off one skill and it's based off them killing someone. And this is why I said every hero is different. Some heroes kind of like, here we go. Here's a good example. Soul Bond. All right. Her skills right here has an additional 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Additional 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Who wants to guess what this third skill has? Has an additional 25% of inflicting a critical hit. So what that means is that I don't need to build her to 100% crit rate. All right. As you can see, I basically got her to exact. Look at that. She's exactly 75%, which means she's basically at 100% crit rate because of her skills. And this is once again why I said every hero is different. You want to get that crit rate as close to 100% as possible based on the hero that you're using. Okay. Now, as you can see in this example, she has 75% crit rate and 202 crit damage, which means that she's basically on all of her skills going to do 100% and she's going to crit every time. So having this crit damage is very important. So later game, even though it's a 4-star piece of gear, her crit damage, she has a crit damage glove. All right. And that's because I have crit rate on all of her gear. See right here. So 11. What do we have there? 15, right? 13 there. See what I mean? You're going to get crit rate in other spots. So 14% right here. This one has another 4%. See, she has all these crit rate pieces, and that means you can now switch over and put a crit damage glove, which is going to make them do insane amounts of damage. When I switched my Kale from crit rate to crit damage, his damage skyrocketed. All right, like literally skyrocketed. So if let's say you hit with no crit, all right, and your attack, we're just going to do base math here. We're not going crazy and doing the exact numbers. So let's just say your attack is like, we'll just say 2,000, all right? You hit something, 2,000 damage, all right? If you crit, let's say you have 100% crit damage, all right? Then that means you're going to do 100% more damage. So that means every time you hit with a crit, you're going to be doing 4,000 damage, all right? Now let's just say you have a 50% crit rate, all right, and 100% crit damage. That means half the time you're going to do it, which means you're only going to do about 3,000 damage. All right, because half the time you're going to not be critting. So it's going to be 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Figure 50 out of 50 times is when you're going to crit. All right. Now, if you do crit damage up to 200 with 100 crit rate, that changes things. Okay, because now you've got 200%. So now you're doing 6,000 damage every hit. Okay, and you're critting every single time. Obviously, there's going to be things, affinities, all that's going to change, but the basic idea of it is that's how it works. So really, if you don't have crit rate, your crit damage is useless. So in the beginning, start with crit rate. There's a lot of talk about crit rate. Now, every other hero really just depends on what you're using them for and where you're going to play with them and how they work. So in this example, I actually use Soulbon as my campaign farmer. I'm not going to show it. Everyone's seen it. I mean, if you've been watching my videos, you've probably seen it. You can literally watch any video where I do any kind of farming, and you're going to see that she is my campaign farmer. We have her in attack chest. Why? Because we want her to do a ton of damage and kill things fast in campaign. That's it. All right. That's all we care about. We just want her to kill things fast and move forward. We have her in a speed boot. I will honestly say that most heroes, and I'll probably say somewhere honestly in the 80 to 90% range, almost all heroes will need speed boots. There's going to be exceptions to that. You're going to have to look at every hero individually and see what they need. If you have a hero that has a counterattack, okay, or a say stone skin or something like that, where you want them to constantly have that thing. If you put stone skin on a hero and make their speed 300, they're going to get through. Their stone skin's going to be gone within like a turn or two, and that's it. So basically, your stone skin just wasted it. All right. Now let's just say you keep it at 0. You have no speed on that hero. That means they constantly have the counterattack up, even though they go slow. When they get the turn for counterattack, it's going to stay up longer. It's going to stay up for like say it's for 3 turns. That might stay up for 4 or 5 rounds of an enemy attacking you, or even up to 10. I've seen some crazy counterattacks. Same thing with Stone Skin. It's just going to last longer. It's going to make people have to break through those skills. So yeah, there's going to be examples. Like I've seen plenty of fights where Death Knight has Stone Skin and is literally 0 speed, and it's probably one of the worst things you'll ever see. It sucks, but you know what? It gives you more time to kind of hopefully break that Stone Skin down. Bring a bomb in. There you go. You win. All right. So speed, whatever the stat is of the hero. So now if this is an HP hero, you would put HP on here. And then if it's defense, you would put defense on their chest. You're basically going to match their attack type to their chest. Like I said, this is all basics. This is not going to be for every hero. This is just your standard way to get through the game. So if I have a hero like, let's say, this guy, Coffin Smasher, all right, you want HP on him. Why? Because you go into his skills right here. Damage is based on HP. Damage based on HP. Damage based on HP. All right. So you want them to match their stat. That's essentially what you're going to be doing with most heroes on the chest. Okay. Now, accessories, they're just going to be whatever you think that hero needs. This guy's got HP. He's got crit damage. Crit damage is actually one of the better stats to have on most heroes as well. Having extra crit damage on a hero doesn't hurt. Even doesn't matter what there is. If they're defense, HP, if they're attack, crit damage helps you no matter what. It's going to make you do that much more damage. So figure most heroes who have more than 1 or 2 attacks on them for their skills, you're probably going to want to do crit damage. Is it going to always work that way? No. I do have heroes that don't work that way, but just for basic idea, yeah, you can. Now, the other option is you can put whatever their stat is. So I could make this into HP, and they'll still do more damage, and they'll have more HP. You see what I mean? So you can switch things up. You don't have to pick one thing. Every hero is going to be a little different. And then your final thing, the banner, this is where stuff gets tricky, all right? It depends on the hero. To be honest, on this specific hero, I would probably remove this now that I'm looking at it. I don't use Coffin Smasher that much anymore, and that's why he's still in it. Something like this, you would probably want to put in accuracy. Why? Because he has 2 skills that are very important, which make him good. All right. One, he decreases attack. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack. So you want him to have accuracy. All right. Here, he has a HP burn, 50% chance. You want him to have accuracy so he can land these. Okay. That's the important part. A lot of the times when I was having trouble in the beginning of this game, it was because of my accuracy. None of my heroes were placing any of their skills. You're not going to be able to get through, like, for instance, the Ice Spider. You could fight that guy all day. You could be the strongest hero in the entire game. All right. You could go in there with literally heroes that have all legendary gear. You bought your +4. It doesn't matter. You could go in and fight the Ice Spider at level 1, and you would not be able to beat him if you can't land a block revive or an HP burn. All right. Because that's part of the boss's skill set. It has to be on fire, or you have to block revive it at the last hit. That's it. Otherwise, it revives. And that's unfortunately the way the game works. So you need to have accuracy on those heroes. So this guy, you would have to put accuracy on. He can light the spider on fire every time, hopefully. And there you go. You can kill him. Same thing with Drex. There's plenty of heroes that have HP burn. We got Akoth, a couple different ones. All right. So when you're looking at heroes for gear, you really need to start looking at the first thing you're going to look at is what their attack is based on. All right. So if it's based on defense, think about that. Then you're going to look at their skills seconded. All right. Read their skills. So right here, you would think, okay, I could put defense on him, put defense on his. You can even do things where you put defense on their gloves. As long as you have the crit rate, it's fine. If you have it in the gear. So defense on his chest. You can do speed on his boots so he can keep going, and you can put crit rate on his glove or whatever. You just got him. All right. This is a brand new build. Let's look at his skills. Now, he has decreased crit rate on his A1. That's very good. He's got the HP burn, all right? Very good. You want things to burn. This attacks all enemies, all right? and it increases the cooldowns of all skills by 2 turns on enemies under HP burn. So that's kind of cool. So you would do HP burn into the shield, and then it also places a shield buff on this 20% of this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. So now this guy gets a little creepy and weird. All right. He has a shield that's based on HP. So now if you go all defense on him like I did, it means you're gonna have less shield. Okay. It also means that you're gonna need accuracy, which we have on him right now. So we have an accuracy banner to get him up to almost that 300 range for accuracy. And that's because we need him to, one, do more damage. We want damage out of him, and we want him to land his burn. Those are the 2 things that I use him for specifically. Now, if you're using him as a shielder and you want to keep, say you have like a whole team of shielders and you want to create a shield team, whatever, this would probably be a hero that you would put HP on then, all right? Because you want that HP shield to be a lot bigger, all right? Let's look again just to make sure. So yeah, because you have to read these descriptions very specifically. See, it says 20% of this champion. Sometimes it says of the champion or of, other champion that gets healed. So you want to make sure you pay attention to skills. The best thing you can do in this game to help you with gear is read. I wish I could say that there was like some magic to it and that there's like, oh, you definitely got to do this. It's like, no, you just got to read the skill and see what you want to use him for and then move from there. So like as an example, let's look at some heroes that I've done differently than what I just told you, just so you can see why I do these things. So I think Master Butcher might be a good example. All right, so let's check him. So he's a support hero, which means his skills are probably based on attack, right? Yeah, damage based on attack. He has a provoke on a target for 2 turns, places 15% increased crit rate, and increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. He's got a passive, 2 passives actually, so he only attacks once. He has 1 attack. All right, when attacked, he heals all allies by the amount of damage taken. Doesn't work against bosses, and he'll revive a champion when he dies. All right, and it's on a cooldown, right? Yeah, it's on a 5-turn cooldown. So yeah, we could put attack on him because he's support, right? And he has attack based on his weapon, right? Well, we didn't do that. All right, we didn't do that at all. We need him to stay alive. The whole point of him is that he's going to soak damage. All right. This passive is the reason Master Butcher is amazing. Right here. This is it. This is the only thing he does outside of the provoke, which is kind of good. This is the only thing that matters with him. Is when he's attacked, he heals all allies equal to the damage of to the amount of the damage taken, which means we need him to take damage. All right. You want him to take damage over defense. You don't want him to be defensive because then he's going to take less damage. You see what I mean? So you're going to want to put him in a ton of HP in order to get him to take more damage but not die, all right? Because you don't want him to die. That's preferable. So you don't want him to have no defense, but you want to focus on HP. So what did we do with him? We put him in an HP glove. His speed and crit rate are very low, by the way, because we don't care if he hits, all right? So he's in an HP glove. He's in an HP chest. Whoa, what a surprise. He's in an HP boot. Because like I said, we only want him to stay alive. That's all we care about. We don't want him to be doing anything else. He's in an HP ring, a defense amulet. That's probably because it's all I had at the time. To be honest, I might even consider switching it, but it also has accuracy and resistance, which is something I wanted as well. And then we also have him in a resistance banner because we want him to be able to resist stuff, and I didn't really have a lot of resistance on him. So when I rework him, he will more than likely have more resistance because we want him to not get stunned and all that crap. But to be honest, it doesn't even matter. You could put him in the takes 10% less damage when he's stunned on his mastery, and then just let him get stunned. Like, who cares? Like, unless you're using him for provoking and you don't care, yeah, you don't. It doesn't matter if he gets stunned. So you could kind of use that trick to let him take 10% less damage and just let him get stunned. See, there's always something else that you can do to make a hero different. Now, this guy, let's look at his total stats. Reason being, we have almost 80k HP. We do have him at 2500 defense, which is reasonably low, but we're also not amazingly built. So you could conceivably put him in one piece of defense gear if you have enough HP on your, on the parts around. We also have him in a set that gives him 15% HP and heals by 3% every turn, which means when he gets hit and then gets a turn, he's going to heal by 6% because I have him in 2 pieces, see? And then we gave him a speed set so that we can get him a little bit faster because we really do want him to get that provoke off. And yeah, all his skills are based on him actually attacking. It's not based on him just sitting there soaking. So we want him to have speed. Very important, okay? The other thing with the speed is that if he's fast, he'll heal more because he'll get more turns. Okay, so you want to really think about what you're using him for. We use him in Bommel because the ads will hit him and then heal the whole team instead of killing my whole team, and then he'll die, and then my Syl will come back and resurrect him. So that's basically why we use him the way we do. So he is a one-off, little bit of a weird cat, and that's what we did. Now another one that is a little bit off, Apothecary, also support, skill based on attack. He has a heal that can be critical, and he has a speed up. Once again, we don't care about his attack. We care that he hits 3 times. That is important because that's great for Fire Knight, all right? Because you can take the shield down faster. But other than that, we don't care if he does more damage, so to speak, all right? So what we did with this guy is he has defense on his glove. Yes, it's a flat stat. Go ahead and shame me. We've got defense on his chest, and we've got speed on his boots, all right? We want him to go fast. He's a healer. We want him to speed the team up. We want him to stay alive, and we want him to heal. That's it. We don't care about anything else. Nothing else. All right. We have him in a defensive ring, a defensive amulet, and guess what? A defensive banner. You could put him in resistance. I have him at about 250 resist. I would probably switch him now when I rebuild him and start getting, like, say I get a defense 60% glove. Yeah, I'm going to probably switch this out from defense because I won't need it anymore. He's already got a reasonable amount of defense. So just adding that 60% defense glove will be more than enough to adjust this to a resist. Okay. And then now he won't be getting hit with things as much. He won't get stunned as much, and he can constantly heal and do all that other stuff. All right. So he's almost all defense and speed, but he's a support champion whose skill has attack. All right. And this is why I keep telling people to just read. All right. You want to make sure that you are looking at every hero individually and seeing what you need them for. So let's look at some heroes and what I use them for, just so we can see if there's any weird ones. Because I build heroes a little bit differently than some people do because I use them for different things. Remember, this is a mystery shard only run. We don't use any. I don't get all the good heroes that you guys get, so I have to kind of make stuff up to get through content. So who's a weird one? I don't know. None of these are really super weird. The legendaries are basic. They're basically what they are. I don't think I built any of these weird. Jizzo was like a good example because, like I said, we put him in HP Destroy to make him do the HP Destroy. I mean, I've talked about him before. His skills are pretty cool. He attacks 2 times, which doesn't matter. It's based on defense. He places a shield and a counter attack, which is nice, and then he heals himself and provokes. So basically, you can put him in the HP Destroy like I did, and he can kill. So far in the build I have him in now, he can kill the Scarab King through hard mode, the first dungeon. I haven't been. I don't know if he beat the second one. I think he died on the second. Maybe he did win. I don't remember. I just know he definitely beat the first Scarab King in hard mode Doom Tower. Okay, by himself. So you just go in there with a bunch of heroes that die, and then let him just auto in the HP Destroy. He'll take the shield down and eventually kill the boss and not die. So there you go. We have him in resistance because we don't want him to get hit with provokes and all those other things from the Scarab King, because that is his main use. I don't honestly use him for anything else. He is a Scarab King hero, and that is it. That's all I use him for, and that's why he's built the way he did. Anyone else who's using him for a provoke will go in here and see how his accuracy is garbage 125. Yeah, it's because I don't care about his accuracy. That's why. I don't need him for accuracy because he's not using him for a provoke. Now, if you're using him in Hydra for a provoke, yeah, you're going to want to switch him to some accuracy so he can land that provoke. I don't use him for that right now. I have plenty of other provokers and heroes that I use for Hydra right now, and he's not my best choice right now. So, yeah, we use him for Scarab King. He's going to stay where he is, and that's it. So we don't change him. And he's basically in mostly defense stuff. He's got HP on his ring, defense on his amulet. We want him to have at least a little bit of HP, so we put him in HP glove and defense chest. See what I mean? I split it up. And even with me doing that, he's still, with the gear we have on him, he's still at a 79% crit rate. We don't really care if he crits, but we want him to crit more than he doesn't, all right? And he's got 110% crit damage, so there you go. HP is 52,000. His defense is 3,600. He just does the job, okay? And that's why we did what we did with him. Who else is in here is weird? All right, I don't think he's weird. Funny enough, he's actually getting really good, Lord Legionary. Love him. Let's look at Bogwalker. He's a defense hero. I think he's pretty much built the way he should be. He's probably one of my stronger heroes, 75,000 power. I use him in a lot of content. You'll see him in a lot of videos because I've been using him more. But he has a decreased attack on his A1. He increases defense of all allies for 2 turns and hits everyone. So that's based on attack and defense, all right? And then he's got this that places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 1 turn when attacked with a critical hit. So if you try to crit on him, he's going to help you out by reflecting your damage. Isn't that nice? And let's look at this artifacts. So what do we have on him? We have a defense chest. We have crit damage on his glove. We have speed on his boots. So he's normal. He's basically normal. All right. And then all his stats are in basically his other gear. We've got defense on his ring, crit damage on his amulet, and we've got what? Accuracy. Why do we have accuracy? Because we really want him to land that attack down. That's why. I could put him in defense and make him a little more strong. I could put him in resistance if my resistance was low. I mean, he's got what, 250 resist? Not great, but not bad. So yeah, he's good enough. So yeah, if you really need him to land that thing, you want accuracy. If you don't care about him landing the attack down, like let's say you put him in a team with like, I don't know, Dark Kale who has attack down also, don't you don't have to worry about him getting attack down unless you have a hero that's not getting attack down up often, in which case, yeah, you might want to leave the accuracy. All right. So really, it's going to be up to you, is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, for gear farming in the beginning of the game, you're just going to basically get the gear that you get from doing missions. You're going to be doing dungeons, you're going to be doing campaign, you're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. You're going to get a bunch of gear. Just use what you get. You don't have to worry about stuff. Now, what I've seen some content creators recommend, this is up to you. I don't do it. It's up to you, though. I wait until I just get gear. I don't farm low-end campaign for gear. You can come into this stage, all right, the Palace of Arabia. You can go into stage 6 and farm whatever level you're comfortable with, if it's normal, brutal, whatever, hard, whatever it is you're on, and you can just farm stage 6 for the beginning of the game and just keep farming it until you get a bunch of speed boots. I wouldn't recommend leveling up anything that's like 1 or 2 star. And I would probably maybe save this for hard mode, but I mean, like I said, it's up to you. You can get at least 3-star speed boots from here when you first get here. And that honestly might severely help you get through hard and brutal because you already have a bunch of speed boots on all your heroes. Okay. So farm up like 4 or 5 of them and then just level them up. And there you go. You got like, an extra 30 something speed on all your heroes, and they're going to attack faster and you're going to be able to beat stuff quicker. So that's an option. All right. You can also go in here and farm up specific gears. Like if you need crit rate, you can come in here and farm some stuff up, all right, in the early game, right when you start. This would be where you would get your stuff. Crit rate's pretty big. Defense, I don't know if I ever really farmed there. Attack, HP. I mean, you can farm these. What else? Lifesteal, you can come in here and farm up. You could literally come in here and just farm up 3-star lifesteal gear, the first day or so, and then all of your heroes will heal themselves when they attack. You know what I mean? These are things you can do if you're having trouble and you aren't progressing. All right. Having lifesteal on most of your attackers is very helpful. Just remember that when you put lifesteal on somebody, if they're not strong and they don't hit hard, it makes the lifesteal less useful. All right. So consider that when you put heroes and things. All right. You're not going to put lifesteal on a hero that doesn't do any damage because it's a waste. It's just a freaking waste. All right. So don't do it like that. Only on people that can do damage do you want lifesteal. What else is in here? These are basically worthless. I mean, retaliation is okay. And then your destroy HP is in here. So if you're having trouble with Scarab and you don't have any destroy HP gear, you can literally just come in here and farm a couple pieces up. Once you're through the beginning of the game, you're going to start moving into dungeons. This is where you're going to get most of your gear. Now, most people are going to farm Dragon's Lair as they have what? Speed and lifesteal, and destroy HP. All 3 of the things you need. There's also toxic gear, which is useful in the early game if you don't have any poisoners to get you through clan boss missions. You can put all of your clan boss heroes in toxic, and then they all poison. And there you go. You can just poison your way to victory right in the beginning of the game, and you can hit that million. I think it's 1,000,000 damage you have to do, right, to finish the quest. I think there's a 500,000 and then 1,000,000, I think. I think you do both. So the toxic set will help you with that. Destroy HP will help you with Scarab King if you get to him pretty quickly, but more than likely right at the beginning you're not going to be needing this. And then the lifesteal and speed set obviously are very good. Accuracy is also very good. Obviously perception is better, but accuracy is not bad. If you have a hero that you want him to land something, you can just farm up 1 set of accuracy to match whatever set you did. So let's say you need them to land something and you need lifesteal. You could farm 4 pieces of this and 2 pieces of this, and now you got an accuracy lifesteal set. And like someone like Kale, you want him to land his poisons. You could put him in an accuracy glove and a accuracy boot that has speed on it. You know what I mean? So you can do things like that, or you could put him in speed and lifesteal, which is what I have my Kale in, is speed and lifesteal, because I have accuracy on the gear. So really, it just depends on what gear you get. If you get a lifesteal set and all of a sudden every piece has accuracy on it, then you probably don't need accuracy. Maybe get speed. See what I mean? You can pretty much fix any problem with any set by mixing and matching sets and checking the stats of the ones that you're using. All right. And I usually level up a piece of gear to level 8 before I start building it. Because if I'm looking for a specific stat, like say I get a speed boot, I mean, I will say a glove, and it's got speed on it, and I really want speed, and I level it to 8, and no speed pops up, I might want to consider not using that piece. All right. Because you want the speed. So you want at least one or two rolls on the speed. Do that in the beginning, and if not, then sell it off if it doesn't work out. In the real beginning, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, look at this. I know we're almost about to beat stage 10 in Dragon. We just did that on the stream. You guys should watch my live stream. If you couldn't hear that, I said you guys should watch my live stream. All right, so there you go. Dragon's going to be a big one for the beginning. After that, Spider is going to start becoming something important. All right, now in the beginning, you only really need, like we're talking about the beginning. You only need to get to stage 5. That's it. All right, literally stage 5. All right, you can get 3 to 4 star accessories. That is more than enough. All right, more than enough to start getting you through the game. All right, once you start getting into a little bit harder things like Doom Tower, and yeah, then you're going to start pushing yourself into stage 10, probably get 4 and 5 pieces of gear, and that's great. And then yeah, you'll work your way up into stage 13. Stage 13 is the goal for any new account. And I don't mean just Spider. I mean all the dungeons. Every dungeon, 13 is your goal. You want to be able to farm 13. 16 is if you are just doing really good and you can farm it at a reasonable pace and you're not dying. Then yes, 16 would be better. I've heard that the rates are much better. But you starting at 13, it means you at least have a chance of getting a 6-star gear. All right. So yeah, 13 is your goal. Now you're going to see some bad times here. It's because I've never gone back to play these. You can see which ones I've done. Look, 22 seconds. You can see which ones I don't play. So yeah, I only do stage 10. I actually don't farm, but stage 16 had the best time back in the day. So yeah, we were farming that. But now we can farm stage 20 at 1.5. When was that? 1 minute and 52 seconds is our best time. So yeah, there you go. We can farm things like that. As far as the other dungeons, are they necessary? I mean, if you need shield sets for heroes, which you probably will for Faction Wars, having one shield set on one hero, if you don't have bolster yet, is probably a really good deal. You also have crit damage. These are more late game things like Savage. These are really good damage dealer sets. So Savage, crit damage. Regeneration is a really good set for some tanks. I actually have my Armorger in a regeneration. I have my Haikatun in regeneration because she doesn't have a heal. So that way she keeps herself alive. You have the stun set, which is really good for AoE damage dealers. They can stun entire teams. So that's really good. This is more an advanced stage area. You're probably not going to need most of these. Would I say you don't take them and use them? No, that would be stupid. All right. But you don't need to farm Fire Knight early on. All right, same thing, stage 13, just get to 13 and get a team that can farm this, and you'll be okay right in the beginning. At least you can start getting some of this stuff, all right? As far as Ice Golem goes, I mean, this is all the basic stuff you can get from campaign, essentially. Yeah, you have Provoke. I mean, I don't use Provoke on anyone. I'm sure there's plenty of heroes that would be good in it. Reflex ain't bad. Retaliation is kind of a specific thing for specific heroes. Like anyone like that already maybe has some kind of a counterattack on them. I think a lot of people use Deliana in retaliation because she's really freaking annoying in retaliation. So yeah, you can actually. I think people with retaliation because she puts up her own leech. So I believe you can put Deliana in retaliation, and then she can basically kill the spider by herself. Like you literally just put her in, and she just you're dead. So yeah, things to know. I'll take it. Resistance ain't bad, but it's not great. You know, defense, offense, life. There's going to be better sets that come up that do the same thing these do, plus give you extra stats. So this is if you're really bored and you're already going to have these for free. So I wouldn't really waste my time too much in Ice Golem early on. I would focus on Dragon's Lair, move into Spider, and if you need anything specifically from Fire Knight, then start farming there. Late game, you're going to start moving more into Fire Knight to get some stun sets and Savage and all the other stuff. So yes, I would ignore Sand Devil and Shogun for a little bit until you get better. Remember, these were just released. Okay, these were just released like within the last like what 6 months, 7 months. So you don't need them for early game. All right, you don't even need to enter these unless there's a quest. Okay, so just ignore them. Use your energy to get your heroes built up. Okay. Um, I mean, that's really it for early game gear stuff. There's not much I could really tell you as far as I don't want to get too specific on any one hero. Even I mean, I kind of showed you like why what my thought process was on each hero and why I build them the way I do. And you may find a way that someone else has never found. All right, I put up the video about Jizzo beating hard mode on Scarab, and that helped a ton of people beat Scarab. All right, that's fine, that's great because they weren't thinking that Jizzo could beat it. That nobody was thinking that. All right, it's not because I'm smart; it's because everyone's going to have a different experience in this game. You're going to see something that somebody else didn't see, and then you'll do better. And that's kind of why this whole mystery shard thing works is because I'm looking very specifically at each hero one by one and seeing how they're going to help me. And the next hero I build is going to be a hero that's going to help me fix a problem. And I've said this in numerous videos: fix one problem at a time and keep building things until you fix that problem. Once that problem is fixed, if that problem comes up again, you already fixed it. You see what I mean? Then move on to the next problem. So if you don't have heroes that can do multiple hits for Fire Knight, build up your heroes that have multiple hits for Fire Knight. You can build up. Here we go. Let's look at some heroes. We've got Fleshmonger can do Fire Knight. You've got Coffin Smasher that can do Fire Knight. He does multiple hits. Aethel Hater can do Fire Knight. I've used her in the beginning. Who else does multiple hits? You can use Grappler for Fire Knight, actually. He's got a bunch of different poison hits that hit multiple times. You've got Hyria that can do multiple hits. She's good for Fire Knight. You've got Petrify who can do multiple hits. Any of my poisoners are good for that. I've shown the poison teams. You can check out my videos in the dungeon playlists. Frozen Banshee, Kale, all these guys have multiple hits for Fire Knight. Apothecary has multiple hits, all great for Fire Knight. As far as for the Spider, you're going to want nukers early on. So any nuker is good. You're going to want War Maiden probably for defense down. If you need attack down, a Veer is pretty good. Kale is good for AoE damage. Valerie's good if you need a shielder for that. Spirit Host is great in almost every single content in the beginning of the game, so there's that. Who else is a good nuker? We've got Elhain, you've got Galek. I mean, even Risk Arm is a freaking awesome nuker. Here we go. Crimson Slayer, she's got turn meter reduction and an awesome nuke, so she's good. Madman has lifesteal built into him, and we put lifesteal on him, so yeah, he's kind of cool. Who else does AoE? You've got Totem if you need some defense down and you need a specific divinity. I mean, not divinity, a specific affinity. So she could be good for fire. For what is it? Ice Golem, you're going to want some heroes that can heal and kind of put up shields and defense. Tolog is really good for fire. I mean, for Ice Golem. Who else? Grappler could be good. Valerie's good. Apothecary's good. There's a bunch of heroes in here that can do some kind of healing and shielding. If you need someone who does block buff, Spy Master's good for that stuff. My doggos are awesome if you like heroes that can do a lot of damage quickly. The dragon you're going to want to attack down. Avir is good for that. You've got Bogwalker that can do that. Who else does attack down? A couple of different heroes in here. I'm trying to think who does it. Petrify does attack down. Who else? Anyone else in here? I'm sure there is somebody. I'm sure there's somebody. If you need turn meter manipulation, you've got Crimson Slayer. You've got Soulbomb Boyer. She's got an attack that literally wipes out the entire hero's turn meter. You've got Executioner if you want an AoE turn meter reduction. Who else does that? I think that's most of them. So yeah, basically think about what you're doing. Dragon's easy. That's why I'm not telling you what to do. Like you can use my starting 5, which you can watch in my playlist under Champion Spotlight if you want to see Dragon stuff. But Dragon's the easiest one. But yeah, there's plenty of heroes in here that you can use. And if you're stupid like me, you can even build yourself a Twin Claw Disciple that has 53,000 power and is one of my favorite heroes. He's so dumb. He's so dumb, but I love him. He's one of my favorites. And then every time I use him, I get stupid excited. All right, so yeah, that's it for today. I mean, if there's anything missing or something else you'd like a little more clarification on, feel free to leave a comment and I can answer it. And if it's something that warrants more in-depth look, then I will do a video on it. So yeah, that's it for today. If you guys, like I said, if you have any questions, just comment below. Like, share, subscribe. It's great for my channel, and it's great for Twin Claw Disciple, because then more people will see him and know that he is an awesome, awesome Guardians of the Galaxy Wolverine. Yeah, it's great. Look at this guy. He is creepy and awesome with his mohawk. All right, guys. So that's it. This is gear and things that will help you out, and that's it. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd. You guys take care.